having this vision. I've been having this vision. Either rise or you fall. I'm on a mission, bringing my dreams to fruition. I ain't playing at all. Bring out the body bags, I'm about to kill them, deliver them to the mortician. I gotta do what I gotta do. That's for my fish, back in my face. I gotta do what I gotta do. I pray to God, he never came. I'ma do me, I'ma do me. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change.
Welcome to the Corona Post Show, and what an epic show it is going to be. We have just been blessed with incredible conditions here on day 3 of the event window, and it continues to roll on through. And all those surfers who've been watching the action unfold now getting their opportunity to tap into maybe one of the rides of their lives. Ronnie Blakey joined by Rosie Hodge and also Luke Egan. Rosie, it's been a great return for you back to South Africa.
Oh, man, I've loved every minute of it. I mean, just looking at the conditions over our shoulders, it continues to absolutely cook, Ronnie.
It's cooking, Luke, and a big day, mate. Some huge upsets, some of the top seeds falling out of the mix.
Yeah, huge day, and that swell just kept pushing and pushing, going a little bit more south this afternoon, so pushing down the point. But, wow, there were some incredible rides.
We're going to break it all down. But if you did miss any of the action, here is what unfolded on day 3 of the event window. We kicked it off. There was so much on the line for our competitors as they chased down those spots in the WSL Final 5. Felipe Toledo, the #1 seed. He's clinched his spot in the WSL Final 5, but he is out of the mix here and won't get that 3rd J-Bay title this season because Yago Dora, the goofy footer who spent the majority of the first half of the season out injured, is back in a big way and dropping excellent scores on his road through to the quarterfinals, and he is going to be a hard man to beat. He is just looking so powerful, so strong, and is really developing a fantastic relationship with this location. Jack Robinson, his form is undeniable, and he came up against the GOAT, the 11-time world champion Kelly Slater, who had some real moments today. Fought his way through the elimination round into the round of 16. But Jack Robinson, he's just on another level at the moment. His rail turns continue to improve, but it's his read in the barrel that's helping him fetch those big numbers as he's powering through this contest and closer to solidifying that place in the WSL Final 5. Geordie Smith wowed the local crowd with a really strong performance here once again, and his read is just as strong as it's ever been, as he gave us great variation with those big frontside hooks, attacked the pocket, and just proved too strong for Griffin Colapinto in an epic battle in the round of 16. Those guys, both two of the highest scoring surfers in the mix, and Geordie just won't slow down. He just continues to read this place so well. And as I said, just has that beautiful flow down the line. And look at some of these finishes, just so strong and really working that crowd over and getting them into a frenzy as he charges towards a big finish here and potentially into a Final 5 position. Tyler Wright comes into this contest sitting at the 10th position on the ladder, but she's already making a climb, causing some big upsets today, overtaking the current world #2 and making some space for herself at the top end. And she's just showing the kind of form that saw her claim back-to-back world titles. Carissa Moore, a very difficult day for the current world #1. Broke her board prior to the heat getting underway and had a marathon paddle over the rocks and then had to run up the beach. Ended up getting into the lineup, getting her breath back and maintaining her composure and doing what she does best. And that is giving us incredible power in really stressful moments. And she is going to get herself another shot at a J-Bay victory here, and she could go back-to-back. Last time we were here in 2019, she overcame the field, and she's looking to do it again. We're going to have a look at the women's bracket. Amazing semi-finals established. All our world champions are still in the mix, chasing that title, and last year's world title runner-up, Tatiana Weston-Webb, she'll get her shot as well. So it's going to be a fantastic showdown with all these favourites meeting in the semi-finals. The men's bracket, we can see the quarterfinal heats are shaping up beautifully, and it's going to be a great charge towards the victory here. And there's a big opportunity for some surfers outside the Final 5 to get themselves in the mix and climb that ladder. And with a big performance at Tahiti as well, they could cause some huge upsets. But check out worldsurfleague.com for more highlights, athlete updates, and full heat replays from the Corona Open J-Bay. Alrighty, let's take a deeper dive now at some of the big moments from today. Rosie, it started with the elimination round for the men. There was some great performances, but you know, it started to get really interesting in that round of 16, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I think things started to heat up. I think everyone is so aware of their position on the rankings coming into this, and so many of the guys were like forthcoming with the fact that they were looking at the rankings and really considering their spot and how they were going to approach the surf that we had on offer today.
Yeah, Luke, you know, some of those surfers just outside that WSL Final five are starting to really find their flow. Kanoa Igarashi, for me, is one guy that stepped up in a big way. He's got a bit of a mountain to climb, though, because there is some surfers just above him still alive in the contest too. Yeah, there is, and even before the contest started, for me, they're the three guys I wanted to watch was Griffin Colapinto, Ethan Ewing, and Kanoa Igarashi. Those guys right there, they're having their best year they've ever had on the tour, and they're right there trying to take 2 spots. You know, 3 don't fit into 2 spots. Yeah, I think the big thing, Rosie, with Kanoa and Griffin Colapinto, they were so close last year but missed that opportunity at a venue where they're very strong. So they're doing everything in their power to correct that in 2022.
Yeah, and it definitely stung for Kanoa last year, not being in that picture. We know how competitive he is, and yeah, that was a hard loss for him not to be in that picture. I think this time he wants to kind of shut the door and really take up one of those spots. Like you said, Louis, those chairs are filling up fast. Like, there's not much space and much time for these guys to solidify a spot.
Yeah, that is so true. This guy just seems to be settling into his performance here, though, Luke. He made some odd decisions in the opening round, and he was aware of that. He said he probably overamped, but today reeled it in a little bit, but still surfed on edge. Yeah, and I think there's a new carve there that he's been working on. We saw him a few times. He gets a nice barrel there, but he's been doing this hold the rail carve down that I've never really seen from him before, and it is getting him some great points and mixing it up for him out here on the point. Can perform in the big moments too. We saw that at the Olympics last year. So Kanoa Igarashi, look at the heat score total for him, 16.26. He was absolutely buzzing with that performance, and still thinking about his position on those rankings, and definitely is aware that, you know, a quarterfinal finish isn't going to do it for him. He's got to do some more work here to catch these guys ahead of him on the rankings, especially when you consider Ethan Ewing still alive and looking very strong in that bottom half of the draw. But who do you take out of there to put him in? Yeah. That's why I'm so interested in 4, 5, and 6. You know, they're having a career best year. So who doesn't get in? I don't know. We're going to talk about it, but let's see how Kanoa's feeling after a big heat win and getting himself into the quarterfinals.
Well, Kanoa, even though you won your heat yesterday, you are still asking more of yourself. Do you feel better, finding some momentum and some really good scores in that last heat?
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting there. You know, I love this wave. It's I feel like it suits my surfing. I think I've heard every single person on the webcast say that today. So I'm one more, but it's just because it's a perfect wave, you know. And I'm just really happy to kind of find my feet a little bit more in that heat. I felt like I surfed pretty bad yesterday, and I was a little bit tired, and I didn't sleep that good. But yeah, today I felt better, and yeah, just enjoying being in South Africa. It's one of my favorite places in the world. It's so beautiful, and I mean, we're looking at probably as good as waves get right now, and you can't really ask for much more. So as a surfer, on behalf of all the surfers, thank you, J-Bay, and yeah, it's nice to make more heats.
As fans, we love seeing this performance from you. You're a citizen of the world, but your heart belongs in Japan. I know there's a lot of people online supporting you and watching you. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, みんないつも応援してくれてありがとうございます。本当に今日のヒートはすごい大切だったので、今回のそのトップ5の目標に向けて本当に今日のヒートはもう今日は本当に間違いなくもうマストウィンっていう感じのヒートだったので、やっぱり緊張の中でね、いいプレスの緊張するプレッシャーの中でいいパフォーマンスを見せられるということだけでも本当に自分で嬉しいので、このまま続いて明日に向けて明日もまたすごい大切な日なので頑張るので、みんなの日本の応援をよろしくお願いします。Oh, and also I just want to say parabéns, muito dinheiro, fizeste anos ontem. Abraço.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Rosie, you're all over the place. And great to have you on the
Between
Corona Post Show
Portuguese and
once
Japanese.
again. But you can tell that he's really starting to zero in, and that is an opportunity now with Griffin falling out of the mix. I mean, it was an impressive performance from Griffin, but not a great result, and he's already hanging on to a couple of 17ths as well. So he is a little vulnerable, and he's going to have to really ramp things up at that last stop.
Oh, definitely. And it was really tough to see Griffin after that heat. You could tell he's wearing that disappointment. And obviously coming up against a brick wall. Geordie Smith, he knows this place so well. Griff, he's disappointed now, but I think he's going to reconfigure himself and do a great job in Tahiti.
Most definitely. In the bottom side of that round of 16, Luke, we had one of the best heats with two very high-scoring surfers, Ethan Ewing and Matthew McGilvray.
Yeah, that was awesome. Ethan just, his timing, you know, Jeffreys Bay, speed, power and flow, it nearly suits the criteria. You know, you just add this point, and when people excel in those areas, they do well here. And Ethan Ewing just looked spectacular out there with Matty just falling a couple of times. He didn't look as comfortable as yesterday and just pushed it a little bit hard in the wrong areas. But Ethan Ewing, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think when you're watching someone with so much style, Rosie, you can kind of forget just how fast they're going, and that's really been the key to Ethan's success this year on his way to his best results. He's ramped up the momentum, and he's not sort of syrupy anymore. He's explosive, and he's really letting go of some great turns.
And surfing aside, I think he's really put his head down and he's working hard. He said that he came to South Africa straight after Rio. Instead of going home, these guys have not spent any time in their own beds. He spent the 9 days in the lead up to the event here, getting Duncan Scott in his corner, a local legend. Matty McGilvray, he had the high mark of this heat with the 8.0, but wow, the solid surfing from Ethan just eclipsed Matty's performance.
Yeah, just had the crowd absolutely howling as he came through that barrel, let go of some of those big extended calves. Had he finished this one off, you know, that number would have gone even higher, right up towards that perfect ride. But I think he found an edge, Matthew McGilvray, over Griffin Colapinto on the opening round, attacking the bowl. But Ethan matched him in that department during this heat.
Ethan's positioning is so incredible. Like, look at that, just gets up into the steep part of the wave and arcs down, and he's so smooth. And the variety too, he gets to about here on the wave, and there's about 4 different top carves he can do. And he really impressed me today. It was a spectacular performance.
Look at the heat score numbers for both competitors. Matthew McGilvray getting that highest single ride of the heat, but Ethan beat him with a couple of high-range 7s. And he is going to power through to those quarterfinals now. The Australian, who's looking to solidify his place at the top end of the leaderboard. He's going to have a really fun clash in the quarters. Well, it's going to be fun for us, up against Geordie Smith.
Oof, that is
Wow.
a huge heat.
Yeah, looking forward to watching that one play out. But yeah, it just was relentless, the swell today too, wasn't it? It just didn't stop from the first heat. I don't think I've seen it that consistent, Luke, ever. And it was perfect having the overlapping heats.
Yeah, it was, and I kind of called it wrong in the morning. I thought it was going to come in on the rocks a little bit with the high tide, but talking to a few of the locals, they said that the swell actually turned a little bit more south this afternoon, and when it turns south here, more swell can get around into this bay, and that's why we saw the size get bigger this afternoon. And yeah, there was some massive waves out there, some as big as I've ever seen it.
And some of the biggest waves came through in that last quarterfinal heat for the women. And Tatiana Weston-Webb and Brisa Hennessy really locking horns, and they're in a very interesting position on the leaderboard at the moment. And Brisa got off to a fantastic start here, Rosie.
Yeah, Brisa was looking like a hot knife through butter on her waves. I think just something that was lacking was just that critical in-the-lip surfing, but just had a lot of length in her surfboard, and it looked so good under her feet. Think about where she's had success in Sunset. It's almost kind of similar with the power that we're seeing today.
Yeah, it's tricky, Luke, because this is probably the biggest surf that some of these competitors have been here at Jeffreys Bay, and you could almost see a bit of decision-making and hesitation from Brisa at times, whereas Tatiana Weston-Webb got big walls and she just didn't hold back, straight off the bottom, right up into the pocket.
I was really impressed with her performance, and just the timing. Like, there's a lot of water moving there. It's not super hollow, but you do catch a lot of speed. So to actually come off the bottom and get into the lip in the right spot to get good points just like that, Tati just had it down and getting some huge scores, and she just attacked. To attack such a big moving piece of water, it's a difficult thing to do, and she went out there and just took it to it.
She's got a reputation for her commitment in sizey conditions, Rosie. It was well and truly on show, especially on those big end sections.
You know what? When we zoomed in on her on these waves, she had this huge smile on her face. I mean, she absolutely loves a bit of juice. And like you said, just committed surfing through those bumpy sections, and never was kind of in two minds about what she was going to do. She was hooking it under the lip. She was really committed when it stood up, and she didn't burn a lot of speed as she was going for her maneuver choice. So a really cool look at what Tati's capable of at Supers. I think she's made the semi-finals here before, so let's see if she can go one better and get in the final.
Yeah, it's a great point of difference. She's going to carry into the semi-finals. Tatiana Weston-Webb on that backhand, surfing as strong as she is against those regular footers, Luke. But, you know, as I said earlier, all the world champs on the Women's Championship Tour are still alive in the mix, and they've proven to be so dominant on these right-hand point breaks. Yeah,
they have, but I think we'll see the swell probably drop a little bit tomorrow and be a little bit more organised. And, you know, Tati's going to bring it tomorrow as well, so let's see how she goes.
Yeah, well, she's climbing the ladder as we speak and getting closer and closer to that final five. She's down there with Strider.
Thanks, guys. Down here with Tatiana Weston-Webb. An amazing performance out in amazing surf. Tell me about what was going through your mind when you entered the water.
Thanks, Strider. Not much, honestly. I was really focused on just like getting out through the keyhole like properly and not getting smoked, because I just witnessed Carissa get like super smoked, and then I was like, I definitely don't want to do that. And then obviously just trying to focus on my bottom turns and top turns. That's it.
And it seems as though you're thriving in these kind of heavier conditions. Actually, in the slow-mo, we saw you smiling as you were coming out of some of your top turns.
Yeah, the last wave was just so much fun. The 9 that I got, I was just like, oh my gosh, this wave is standing up perfect. And I just felt like, I don't know, I was just enjoying it because I had watched Perfect J-Bay go all day long. Like, everyone surfed so good. And yeah, we're just super, super blessed to have these conditions today. It was amazing.
And I know nothing's for sure, but after your performance out here and then you're coming into Chopo, it looks like you're a big threat for the Final Five.
Thanks, Strider. I'm not even thinking about the Final Five. I think last year being in the title race against Carissa was something that I think haven't digested fully, and I know that if I get to the top 5 that I can perform really well, and I know I'm confident in that high pressure situation. But I think at the moment I'm just kind of focusing on my heat strategy and picking the right waves and just surfing good. I think I've had a really hard time doing that this year, just because, yeah, it's been a really weird year for me. But regardless, I'm just really grateful. Like, today is why we're professional surfers. So yeah, thanks to all the locals at J-Bay for letting us, have the lineup today. It was amazing. And yeah, thanks to all my sponsors, and thanks everyone watching.
Well, we can't wait to see you in the semifinals against Carissa Moore. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Tatiana Weston-Webb running on confidence and really does back herself. I know she hasn't had the consistency in her results, but Luke, she's had the performances when it's counted, and it counted today.
Yeah, and what I've noticed, when she's done really well, the next event she kind of loses really early. So I can see there in a post-interview that she was just like, got to stop thinking too far ahead of myself. She just wants to worry about a strategy, and that was one thing there. She just wanted to, her bottom turn and top turn is so important out here. That's where the points are. She's just trying to focus on those couple of things, and the rest will come, and that's what happened.
Looks like she's just focusing too on having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important on this tour, and I think we've had such a long run through these events. So for her to get in that mindset after tough losses and reconfigure what she has to focus on, it shows that she's built up a lot of character over the last few seasons.
One of the great additions to each of the championship tour spots is actually some of the great events that we're staging, and We Are One Ocean has really been taking off around the schedule, and we've had another great turnout here at Jeffreys Bay.
We're trying to create these ocean guardians that will go into the township and talk about the oceans, that will represent the oceans, and will, be the ones fighting for it.
We're here today for a surf therapy and environmental education program with the WSL Pure grantee J-Bay Surf Alliance. They're in partnership with the Cape Town-based NGO Sentinel Ocean Alliance. This program provides a safe space for kids to learn more about environmental impact, all while teaching themselves and pushing themselves to learn how to surf and protect the ocean.
So stoked to see the kids' faces. Just lights up.
At JBay Surf Alliance, there's two main components to the program. We have the surf therapy program and we have an ocean education program. The ocean education program really introduces the kids to the ocean, but also teaches them about ocean threats, about marine plastic pollution, why you shouldn't use single-use plastic or throw your rubbish on the ground. It's educating the kids about the ocean and why we need to protect it. The surf therapy program, we're teaching these kids life skills, we're teaching them resilience.
Good to them to experience this healthy environment of being in love with surfing and the ocean and looking after the beach and each other.
In through the nose, out through the mouth. Gonna do some meditation here.
I think it's good to start from the ground up, teach and educate everybody on ocean plastics and even just plastics around the ocean and plastic in general. We're just trying to do our little bit.
We're picking up plastic because we don't want to let the plastic affect the fish.
They can take this program through the rest of their lives, you know. And I think the kids, when they come, they feel the love and they feel the care. It's a whole different change of attitude.
The kids that go through the program, once they've graduated, they can then become a coach and they can then teach the younger kids, you know. So we keep the cycle going of educating the kids about the ocean and teaching them about surfing.
To teach them about beach cleanups at such a young age it's a really good thing. So I'm over the moon, stoked, and yeah, love it.
There's so much awareness being spread with this little program, from mindfulness to cleaning up the beach and ocean and protecting, you know, what's so beautiful and what brings us all so much joy, to taking them surfing. It's an amazing program and it's just the first step to making a big impact. So it's really cool.
I think it's important to just educate ourselves, educate our friends, educate the community so that we can all contribute to the bigger picture.
Yeah, it's awesome that the future generations are already, you know, learning about it and getting educated, and, you know, I'm learning and they're learning, and so it just shows us that we have a bright future and having a clean ocean, and it's really exciting.
You got a lot. Yeah?
The kids are absolutely loving it and they're frothing. But so without a company like WSL to give us the seed funding, we wouldn't be having this conversation today. You can't get off the ground without it. So massive thank you to WSL. We really hope that we can continue this relationship with them, and hopefully one day one of our kids will be in the JBay Open.
Yeah, and we really loved having the founder of the JBay Surf Alliance, Frank Solomon, big wave charger from South Africa, who was on screen there. Great to have him in to call some heats today while Geordie was out in the water, but doing a fantastic job. And make sure you give him a follow and get behind them.
Yeah, it's so awesome just to see the impact that they're making in this community. I mean, a lot of underserved communities here in Jeffreys Bay. So to see that community come together and really uplift the people and create a safe space for people to come and educate them about this environment that we love so much is so important.
Louis, we were rubbing our hands together, smacking our lips in anticipation of the Surfline forecast coming into this window. Today was the day that delivered in a big way, and it's helped us set up some incredible quarters for the men and the semis for the women. But what can we look forward to tomorrow morning?
Yeah, well, so we've got decent size out there this evening, so I think it might hold in the morning and be still there, but I think it's going to drop throughout the day. But just the size we got now, it'll hold through, and we should have a fantastic another day of competition. It's going to fade a little bit, but I think we'll be okay.
Oh, dogs and kids were almost getting washed off the beach today, Rosie, so it probably wouldn't be a bad thing if it just came down in size a little bit.
That's so, yeah, I took a little trot on the beach earlier and I was like, whoa, who's looking after these children? Because it was coming right up. We got those king tides with the full moon. Geordie was saying in his post-heat interview, the only thing that we've really got to monitor is those winds. I think we're going to have a northwest wind in the morning. It's going to clock around to more of an easterly direction, which is an onshore. So hopefully it doesn't affect it too much, and we'll still have a lot of push and power to see the final days get underway. underway.
Yeah, we can really pick the eyes out of it though, Luke. We don't have that many heats left to serve.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, so if the wind, see what the wind does. It's only going to be light though, so hopefully we'll be okay, and we'll get competition running again tomorrow.
Let's get stuck into some more highlights now. We're going to check out the top 5 moments from a big day here at the Corona Open J-Bay, starting with number 5, Jack Robinson. What a performance from him in this contest so far. It's always a dream when you get the opportunity to surf against Kelly Slater. Jack didn't waste it.
Oh, Jack went absolutely mad in his heat. It was so fun to see him build throughout this encounter with Kelly Slater. Kelly had some beautiful moments, but Jack just threading that tube and maximizing the time under the curtain.
It's just so impressive, Luke, how strong that rail surfing has gotten. Even comparing the surfing he's doing now on the rail compared to when he won in Mexico last year.
Jack Robinson's just still growing. Doesn't matter where we go, he just applies himself and puts the work in and works out how to surf the wave. And Jeffreys Bay is exactly the same, and we're going to see a good result from him.
Number 4 in our top moments today. It's not really a highlight moment for Carissa Moore, but really a low moment. But she certainly recovered well, Rosie. This was a marathon effort in this big clash with Caroline Marks.
Oh, you know what? I was putting myself in Carissa's shoes and just thinking about how it would crumple like a wet paper bag after being put through the rinser like Carissa did in the beginning stages of that heat. But she went out and just showed her character. Just such a champion, fought back, and just a beautiful, graceful person that did so well to come back after that adversity.
Yeah, she felt like crying at the start of that heat, but she was smiling in a big way when she got the win. Number 3, J-Bay Barrels, tubes all day with that extra energy in the lineup today, Luke. The tubes really opened up and the competitors just stuffed themselves way back in these pits.
Oh, there was some incredible barrels today. There were tons, and yeah, it was incredible to see. Just that swell direction was perfect for down the impossible. Impossibles became possible today. And yeah, we saw a bunch of guys get fantastic tube rides.
Sammy Pupo there, he had some highlight moments. Iago Dora, this one was from deep and he managed to find a way through. So impressive, tucked in again. Great read on this one.
I loved it, and Kelly came up to Iago during this heat and was like, how was that wave? And you could see him kind of gesturing of what he had to do to get under that lip. So surfers really enjoying their time here at J-Bay.
Yeah, Steph Gilmore found a big set wave in her quarterfinal heat, Luke, and really did enjoy that beautiful vision looking down the line here.
Yeah, Steph was incredible. She got out there and just harnessed the power straight away, just big calves and getting herself positioned nicely for the barrel.
Coming in at number 2, Tatiana Weston-Webb. Undeniable just how strong she is here on the back end, and just her go-for-it attitude. It's something that you can really celebrate.
Yeah, charging. I think that's just something that comes to mind when you think of Tati and just how much she's able to attack. I just love the fact that she had just this big smile on her face and just working through these meaty sections and staying connected and definitely being committed on these rides.
Yeah, just I loved just the joy that she had riding out of some of those final manoeuvres. Really, you know, sketchy sections too that caught a lot of people out today. Number 1, though, belongs to Italo Ferreira, ramping up, getting the biggest heat score total of the event so far, and looking like he's in the same sort of form now that got him a world title in 2019.
Yeah, he ticked all the boxes, just beautiful out of the lip surfing and some incredible tube rides as well, leaning forward into this one, coming through. It was just incredible to see him just get some form, riding a little bit longer board, about an inch longer, and really suited. And yeah, that's the best performance we've seen from him yet this year.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, 4 surfers in the men's event chasing their first championship to a win, but Italo, he is the world champ that's left in the mix here. Geordie Smith's got those 2 J-Bay titles already. It's going to be really hard to pick a winner, especially with those 4 surfers that I mentioned showing such great form. They're looking like event winners at this contest, Rosie.
Yeah, I've been so impressed. I'm thinking about, you know, what Iago Dora was able to do. Sammy Pupo has been blowing my mind. As a rookie on tour, being well rewarded out there, he looks like he's just kind of... There's some surfers that get here and they just tap into a certain kind of rhythm on the wave, and I think Sammy's got that tangible love affair with this place already.
Yeah, when I think about those final 8 surfers in the quarterfinals for the men, Luke, I feel like all of them have a fantastic chance at winning this event.
They do. I've just got this feeling Ethan Ewing's going to break through tomorrow or when we have the quarterfinals. I just feel like he's been pushing hard, working really hard, and it's got to break through soon, so why not it be tomorrow?
I love it. Rosie, what about on the women's side, those semi-finals?
Yeah.
So stacked.
So stacked. I mean, Steph was the performer of that round. I mean, she got the 8.33. Well, Tatiana got the 9. So, you know, it's hard to go past Steph at Jeffreys Bay.
It sure is. She just showed great form, and she kind of cruised her way through that clash in the quarterfinals. So she's going to have a lot of energy when we potentially get finals day underway tomorrow. Don't miss a second of it. We're going to be here at First Light for the call, so tune in, and we'll look to get the Corona Open J-Bay started once again. Good morning once again from the Eastern Cape of South Africa. We are gearing up for what could be a very special day.
Picturesque, beautiful, offshore. This is exactly why you come to Jeffreys Bay.
And up and riding is Philippe Toledo.
Drift just tearing apart another one.
Slater getting a big first turn in.
Racing in the tube is Geordie. Racing, and exited.
We're also diving into the round of 16 now.
This is an important wave for Dora.
Bangs one. Nice and steep, really critical in the pocket.
Chasing down Philippe Toledo for a potential heat win. And Dora's in the tube on the backhand. It's not easy, but he'll come out. He'll go in again. Oh, yes, he'll come out. Oh, come on.
Just one of those gifted waves, and I knew right then I was going to get what I needed.
Jack Robinson up and riding, our current team leader.
Meanwhile, Robinson, is he inside this? Is he coming out? Jack Robinson is absolutely flying through a barrel here. Shut the front door, Jack Robinson. Just with an absolute ton of speed, and he'll look to pull in here, and he'll weave underneath a really nice section. Not an easy place to maintain the speed and get a big throaty section for Pupo. He'll come out of that. Another really nice snap with the release of the fins from Pupo, just tearing this wave apart. Brilliantly surfed wave.
As we see now, Italo on the outside. Unbelievable backhand snap. I think one of the most high-risk turns that we've seen on that outside section yet. Just fell out of the sky and still has the momentum as he tucks into the tube. Will he come through this one? He's driving and he reappears, hangs onto it. On his way to a monster score.
Someone is deep inside the barrel and emerges to a massive roar from the home crowd support, Geordie Smith.
We are going to dive back into the women's event this afternoon with quarterfinal number 1 shaping up beautifully. Tyler Wright up against Joanne DeFay.
Tyler Wright up and riding. The turn off the top. And then a beautiful power carve.
And Steph's got great control on these bigger waves. And flares straight up into the lip. Huge turn to get started.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.